live. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Captain Ryan, the co-host of the Real Estate Show, with your main man, Grant Cardone. Each and every week, we're coming to you guys live in the studios here in Miami. We're going to give you guys another piece of information about real estate investing. Look, we're going live on Facebook. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Captain Ryan, the co-host of the Real Estate Show, with your main man, Grant Cardone. Each and every week, we're coming to you guys live from the studios here in Miami to give you another piece of the puzzle when it comes to real estate investing. And we want to make it simple. So it doesn't matter if you guys are brand new. It doesn't matter if you guys are seasoned vets. It doesn't matter where you guys are in this game. We want to help you guys, give you the knowledge, the information, so when you go out there and buy your next deal, you not only have the confidence, you know what to look for, how to buy the deal, so that way you could actually make sense and make money in real estate. Guys, I've personally been buying real estate for the past 7 years, and I was telling Ben this in the real estate market. I've seen a lot of people make money in real estate, but I've also seen people lose a lot of money in real estate. So if you guys like what we're doing every single Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, I need you guys to like the stream, share the stream, and make sure you throw in your comments. Look, one of the most important things, share the stream, as Robert Sislo says, share the stream. Guys, it was really interesting. I was actually looking at the stream last week. Guys, make sure you share the stream. And also, when you're putting in your comments, if somebody is not watching this stream or this show live right now, put their name in. It was really cool. Last week, I actually saw individuals putting in their friends' names because, look, they might miss this, right? They might not be around Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern to watch the live stream. So this is a good friendly reminder so they can come back and watch the stream. Also, guys, if there's any sort of audio issues or video issues, make sure you go to grantcardonetv.com where you can catch this show. Again, it's grantcardonetv.com where you can catch this show and many others because, look, let's face it, Grant is dropping content 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, also on the weekends. You guys can go and watch the other shows. You got Cardone Zone, you got the realist, you got Young Hustlers. All those shows are actually hosted on grantcardonetv.com where you're going to find this show and many others. And also, look, we're going to reference other shows in this stream today. So you can go back and catch the 3-4 other shows that we've actually done on real estate.
At Grant Cardone TV, though.
At grantcardonetv.com.
By the way, Grant Cardone TV is now on Roku. Ryan, great job, Captain Ryan.
Thanks, man. I'm practicing. I'm practicing.
What did I just say?
Roku.
Oh, Roku. You guys, big announcement. Looks like we're going to be on Amazon TV not long from now, but for right now, we're on Roku. Also, okay, we're going to quit on Facebook. So at some point, I got to get you guys to go back to my network, and let me tell you why. Right now, I'm having to scream to the phone, and I shouldn't have to, okay? Because you should be able to watch this from your computer and never have one audio issue.
Yeah.
And you're having that because I'm having to scream because you're not being pumped through my mic. So I love you guys on Facebook. You know how much I love you. Nobody loves you more than GC loves you except for Captain Ryan. Because every Monday, and Robert's going to be with us today. He's going to be talking about houses with us.
Yeah.
Every Monday.
Is he?
Dude, I learned a lot.
Every Monday.
I might just start selling real estate. Gotta make sure there's
No, man. That ain't true, dude. Every Monday.
Ryan just got
every Monday.
out right there.
Every Monday.
You're
Man, I
freaking me
love
out.
the love. I love the love. I love the love. I love the love. Did I say I love the love? Okay. Hey, share the stream, folks. Okay, how much time do we have, guys?
We're actually gonna go live in 5 seconds. Are you ready?
Let me tell you something, okay? Hang on. Let me tell you something. You guys, I'm going to show you why you never want to buy a house today. A house is not a home, and a home is not. Hey, welcome to the Real Estate Investing Made Simple.
With your main man, Grant Cardone.
Captain Ryan
And
right
Captain
here.
Ryan.
Secco. Is that how you say your name?
Yeah, Secco.
Secco. What
Yep.
what nationality is that? dude?
Albanian.
Albanian.
Yeah.
Dude's a pilot.
Yep.
Flies. What? Tell him about your deal.
So my deal is I actually got hired on with Grant as a sales rep, but I now fly the Gulfstream G200. So the reason they call me Captain Ryan is because I've been a captain for the past 8 years, flying airplanes around, and I actually landed the spot with Grant. And when we were out on a trip.
Well, you didn't land that, dude. You came and got that.
Well, I came and got it, but it's funny because the transition from the pilot to the real estate deal was actually we were on a trip.
Yeah.
We were on a trip, and over Christmas dinner, you were telling me how one of the properties was performing terrible.
Yeah.
And I said, well, hey, Grant.
Dude, there's bone up right here. This is a great story.
I said, Grant,
We
what
were
if
in
I came
Daphne,
back?
Alabama.
Yep.
I own 344
60 units, or 44.
344. I know the numbers, dude.
You're right.
You need to
You're
learn
right.
the numbers.
You're
okay?
right. I do.
344 units in Daphne, Alabama. I paid $34.1 million for that deal. I financed $28.1 million. Okay, 29 million. Okay, and I'm like, man, the market here is like 96.5%, and I'm at 90. Captain Ryan says.
Well, you were pacing the floor. I mean,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
pacing back and forth.
Yeah,
I mean, you
I had
can't
my
even
drone,
eat dinner.
I had my drone.
Yeah, you had your drone. You can't even eat dinner. And I asked Grant, I said, hey, so what's going on? What's wrong? And he actually drove by the property earlier that day, and he came back, and his hair's all messed up. He's pulling his hair out. He says, I have my property up here. It's 344 units. And he says there's 40 units empty.
Which isn't terrible. That's only 12% vacancy. But I'm at 88, and the market
Right.
there is like 94, 95.
Right. Strong market.
Dude, you know what this guy does? Flies us home, flies the family home, gets on a commercial flight, flies back to Daphne, Alabama.
Stayed at the property
Yeah.
in an air mattress, on an air mattress.
He's like, where am I going to stay? I says, dude, I got 40 units vacant. Stay in one of the units.
Yeah.
And you know what the manager there says? No, what? He should stay at the hotel. I got 40 units vacant. You
Empty.
crazy?
Yeah.
Dude, come on, man. Get an air mattress and stay there, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he did that. He went and rented, what do we have, 40 units, 42 units?
We had 40 units. I told you I can get them
How many
rented
did
in
you
30
rent?
days.
How many did you rent?
I rented 15 units in 15 days.
Yeah. Okay, so today, look, and every Monday, Grant Cardone TV brings you Grant Cardone and a real estate investing made simple. Simple, even so Robert, the video genius with us today, can do the real estate investing. Today we're talking about something that you guys have been asking me week after week after week, every Monday at 12
It
p.m.
always stirs up. I mean, this stirs a lot of people up.
Dude, everybody wants to know. I say, look, man, they are basically, friends, they are basically what I called them, what did I call them earlier? Where are my little note things? Okay, you see my notes about the penalties? I called them penalties. I called them prisoner products.
Yeah.
That's what I went blank on. My prisoner, the four horsemen of prisoner products. 401k. It's a lie, man. You guys got tricked.
Houses.
Buying a home. Okay. Number three. Y'all know number
Kia?
three?
Credit
No,
card.
you said Kia.
I did a Kia already. Didn't I do a 401k?
That's the same thing.
Credit cards, number three. A home's number two. And college debt. The four horsemen. These are called prisoner products. They make prisoners. They make victims, okay? These are slave products. These are products that they basically hypnotize the educated with and trap you. Look, you can't just get the bottom 10%. There's not enough people.
Right.
If you just if the rich, the super rich, the people running planet Earth, if all they do is trap the lower 10% of planet Earth, I know this sounds a little conspiratorial, in America, that would only be 30 million people. There's way more than 30 million people trapped in this country. And one of the places to trap a human being, and that you guys ask me, you guys and gals, my friends ask me every week, hey man, why do you say buying a house is a trap? Why do you say buying a house is not an investment? I'm going to prove to you today that buying a house can in no way, shape, or form be an investment.
Yep.
No matter how much, go ahead.
Well, and I didn't agree with you
Yeah.
10 years ago
because
I went to the same school everybody else did. I tried to get good grades. I was a C student. I was terrible in school.
Yeah.
And they told me to go to college so I can get a good job, have a house, white little picket fence, start a family.
Yeah.
And that's where you spend out the rest of your life, right? But now, when I look back on that, that's definitely not where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people viewing
Yeah.
right now, that's not where they want to be. They don't want to be trapped in this little town.
Yeah, if you have questions, call me 305-865-8668. I think people do want to be trapped in a little town.
You think
I
so?
think you guys think, oh my God, I'm gonna be so happy. Mom and Dad live across town, and my cousins are in town,
Right.
and everything's gonna be fine, and we're gonna live here, and we're gonna get our little doormat that's gonna say the Johnsons, smiley faces. And then I'm going to paint the house the color I want, and I'm going to have my nice little sofa and my lazy boy and everything. And the little kitties are going to be growing up, and they're going to be happy, and we're going to have tricycles outside. And then I'll get little Ruff, the little dog that poops all over and burns the grass outside. And we're going to own a home. And if we stay there for 30 years, then one day we too will be rich.
That's right.
Dude, look, guys, okay, look. How can a house be an investment? How is it possible that a home that produces no money is an investment? Investments produce money, okay? Investments produce money. They pay you money. That's what an investment is. I buy a pack of cigarettes, I smoke them. That is not an investment, okay? Unless you're buying a carton of cigarettes and selling 10 packs.
Yeah.
That would be an investment.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good investment or bad investment, okay? That is a place to live. You understand? Now, I'm going to prove to you, if you go back over the last 50 years, if you're actually interested in this conversation.
But you have to have an open mind to it.
Or you can be stupid if you want to,
Yeah.
okay? But look, if it doesn't pay you money, it's not an investment. A job is an investment because it pays you money. Stay with me. You're watching Real Estate Investing Made Simple on Grant Cardone TV.
With Grant Cardone.
Too many people are being kept from their dreams by circumstances they couldn't control and mistakes from a long time ago. All they needed was a second chance or a fresh start. That's why Cash Now was created. Since 1997, Ray Abood, owner of Cash Now, has been the premier expert in home renovation and resale in the York tri-state area. Dedicated to premier customer service, getting the best deals at the lowest price, this is the only expert company you should deal with when it comes to buying and selling a home. Offering a 5-step home buying process, Ray and his team will ensure your needs are covered and get you closer to your dreams of buying a home in any city across the United States. To find out more on how you can get started on owning or selling a home, visit cashnowpa.com. That's cashnowpa.com to get started. TruStim is hiring. We are seeking motivated sales reps in the United States and Canada to work in the growing, lucrative market of drug-free solutions for effective pain relief and muscle performance training. Do it while having fun and, most importantly, improving the quality of life for your customers. TruStim offers aggressive pay plans, company incentive trips, and a fast opportunity for growth and advancement within the company. TruStim trains its people on the #1 sales training platform in the world, Cardone University. The best knowledge for sales combined together with the best marketing systems, culture, and support in the industry. Visit TruStim.com/careers. That's TruStim.com/careers and get started right now. There is only one thing that ensures the future of your business: communication. Information, business deals, new prospects, client management only functions with a strong communication platform. And that's our goal at Mango Voice, to deliver quality customer interaction with the best business phone system on the planet. Connect your office with Mango Voice and enjoy mobility of taking calls from your cell phone, multiple office setup, no maintenance fees, secure cloud-based service. Mango Voice ensures your business future with perfect communication. Sign up right now for a free consultation at mangovoice.com/sign up. That's mangovoice.com/sign up.
Hey, welcome back to Grant Cardone's Real Estate Investing Made Simple at Grant Cardone TV with my man, Captain Ryan.
The co-host, Captain Ryan,
Dude.
each and every week.
We're coming to you every Monday at 12 p.m. to talk to you about real estate, okay? Real estate. And we're going to break some old ideas that you have.
Some traps.
So let's talk about the place you live right now.
Yeah.
How much do you pay for your condo?
$2,000 a month.
He pays $2,000 a month for rent. So this is the argument, okay? Do I rent or do I own? A house is not a house.
That voice is amazing.
Thank you. Okay, so now why would this guy, let's say this guy stays here 15 years in the same location. He wouldn't have to, because every 10 months he can blow out of the place. How long's your
12 months.
Okay.
But I have a clause,
Yeah.
since I'm a pilot,
Yeah.
30 days notice, I could blow out of here.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. I didn't know that you could do that, okay? So
Not many people can.
$24,000 a year he pays, okay? 10 years. In 10 years, he will have paid $240,000 to rent.
Right.
So the old argument is, why would he pay $250,000? How much is that joint?
$300,000 to buy it.
Okay, so he could pay $300,000 for it today. $300,000 for it today.
And your PI is what, $1,600 on that?
Okay, no, let's say he paid cash for it. Let's say you had $300,000 sitting around. He's like, you know what? I got $300,000 sitting around. You can do this argument any way you want. I'm gonna take your call, by the way, and I'll do the analysis for you. You do this any way you want.
Yep.
You made a comment on the break. You buy a house after you've made it, not before you've made it. And I can tell you right now, even after you make it don't make sense. Yeah. Financial sense it doesn't make. A house is not an investment, folks. It is a place to live. It was sold to you as the American dream. Let me tell you the whole history on this deal. The Clintons, when they were in their run before Bush came in, okay, the banks come to them and say, man, if we could just lend more money to more families, that would be good for the banks. Well, these people don't qualify for loans, Bill. Well, maybe what we do, maybe they should qualify for loans.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves the American dream. Let's just lower the standard so that every human being in America can go out and buy a house. Now, what did that do to the price of houses?
Straight up.
Straight up, baby, and vertical, okay? Yeah. Oh, notice, when they busted the housing market, the same guys went back to the president, okay, whoever was in that time, and said, hey, man, look, we need to lend some money, my man. Yep. And they said, well, where can we do that? Everybody deserves a college education. Everybody deserves $1.3 trillion, man. What happened when they gave 0% interest loans to colleges? What happened to the college tuition? Straight up and vertical, baby. Yep. Okay, now watch. Okay, these are lies, man. Yeah. Hey, I got another idea, man, back in the Bush era. Mr. Bush, we need to raise money, man. We need the people. We got all the wealthy people's money. We got the poor people's money. We need the people in the middle. We need their money. What you need from me, man? I owe you guys. Y'all got me in office, right? Let's go bomb Iraq. Let's bomb someplace. But we need you. Let's do something. So they set up a 401k, man. So what we'll do is we'll get Ryan to give money every month. Yep. And that money will go to Wall Street, and we're going to give a little tax advantage. It'll make you look good, Mr. Bush. Yep. We'll give you a little tax advantage for that. They won't pay any taxes on this. Well, what does that do for you guys? You get Ryan's money for 40 years, man. See, these are ripoffs, folks. Yeah. And you think you're retiring with money. You think this is a place to store dough, okay? Ryan's looking at this saying, wait a minute, I can put $300,000 in this. What's the problem with that? He loses $300,000. I could show him how to buy a $1.2 million worth of income-producing apartments with that same $300,000. Yep. Does this pay him income? No.
No.
Okay, does he own this place?
Never.
$6,000 a year in property taxes.
Yeah, you'll never.
Probably another $6,000 a year in condo association fees.
Yeah.
Another $6,000 a year fixing stuff, okay? Yep. He'll never own that deal.
Never.
You don't own a home, man.
Never.
The state owns your house, that address, okay? Peter from New York, what's going on, buddy?
New York.
And by the way, that place, that Miami place, if it goes up 1%, 30% over the next 30 years, adjusted for inflation, I'd be shocked.
I would be too.
Okay?
Yep.
That place will probably be worth $400,000 or $500,000, $600,000 in 30 years. That's not a return, man. That's dead money.
And if you look at Miami's market right now,
yeah,
I bet you in 24 months that condo is worth $200,000.
Well, should they buy it then for $200,000? Like, let's say he could get a deal on it right there, okay?
Right.
So why? Yeah. The question is always going to be, why pay $200,000 when it's going to cost him $240,000 over 10 years? Mm-hmm. Dude, he can live in a different place every year for 12 months.
Yeah.
For the next 12 years.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
I would rather have the option and the freedom to leave. Mm-hmm. Okay? I mean, I really would. See, I'd rather just go trade the jet in.
Right.
Right? And go get me a different jet.
Yep.
But every time I got to put 10X on it, okay? It's worth something to me for me to have my name on that jet.
Yeah.
Also, I get the depreciation of that jet. I get the write-offs of that jet, okay? Either way, I would get the write-offs. I know you get some depreciation off your house.
Yeah.
But dude, it's minimal compared to what? If you love houses, go buy you a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, it's just not worth it, right? I mean, when I bought houses in 2009, the only thing I can go back to is that it was a good cash preservation tool.
Yeah.
So it preserved my money.
Yeah.
But when I go back and I look at it, I bought them in 2009, 2010 when
Peter,
the market was
wanna talk to
50%
Peter?
off. Now that I'm selling them in 14, 15, 16, I'm not making any money because I put in my time and my money
exactly.
and everything else. It's just a waste of time. So.
Hey, buy a house when you
small.
make it, okay? When you make it. Yes, sir. Peter, what's up?
Yeah, Grant. I've been watching your shows for a while. I just started watching the real estate shows not too long ago. I just needed some advice. So I am working with some real estate investors, and you know, I needed some advice as far as like where should I go like to find my first deal. You know, because they said they wanted to make me a partner in it, but you know, I just wanted to get your advice on how I should find it and the best way to do it.
Yeah, so what's your question?
Yeah, well, my question is, where should I find, some good properties, multifamily properties?
Where do you live, dude?
Well, I'm in New York.
Yeah, so look, he's in New York. You have to start where you are, folks, okay? Now, what his problem is going to be this, okay? Now, his problem is going to be, dude, everything's so expensive here, I can't even get a return on it. You're going to have 3% returns in New York right now. That will be a score. Where you're buying at the top of a market that probably will get pulled back, okay? So you got to start where you are or have the freedom to move to different parts of the country. I've been in over 7 markets already. I moved to markets, okay? I live in different places. I've lived in Louisiana, Texas, California, 2 places, LA and San Diego. I live in Miami. I might move again, man. I want to build the flexibility and mobility that you don't get when you buy an address, which you call a home, which I call prison, okay? Hey, stay with us. We'll be right back taking your calls at Grant Cardone TV.
In life, anything can happen. Disasters, losses, unexpected things that are not part of your business plan. And when it does, the next step is to figure out how to get back to business as fast as possible. That's where Pride Public Adjuster steps in to properly manage your insurance claim, create a strategic recovery plan, and get you everything you are entitled to from your insurance company. Our experts ensure that your insurance company will restore you to pre-loss condition or better. Since Pride works strictly on contingency, there is no risk and we don't get paid until you get paid. We are the only public adjusting firm licensed in every state in the United States, utilizing our own in-house team of insurance professionals. We work exclusively for you, the policyholder, not the insurance company. Contact us today to receive a free claim review at prideadjusters.com. That's prideadjusters.com. Settle for everything with Pride. That's prideadjusters.com. Style, fun, experience, and the best food on the planet. Brick City Grill, family owned and located in Somerset portion of Ames, Iowa. Voted best food in Iowa in 2016. Everything fresh, everything American. Rated the best sports grill in Iowa. This family-oriented environment was built to enjoy the best of life with your friends, your family, and your coworkers. With the highest quality food, watch the game, meet new people, and create your experience at Brick City Grill. For more information, visit brickcitygrill.com. That's brickcitygrill.com. Gaining financial independence is what every person seeks in today's world. With so many options when it comes to investing, it can be confusing to know what to do. Specialized IRA Services helps you know the right direction to go. Whether you are looking for a self-directed IRA, a retirement account, or need the know-how on funding a new business, Specialized IRA Services helps you gain control of your assets, your money, and your investments while being educated on the entire process. In removing Wall Street out of your investment, you can be sure to spend less on investment fees, taxes, and make more on your returns. Let the expert team at Specialized IRA Services help you transform your family legacy and secure your financial independence. Visit specializediraservices.com. That's specializediraservices.com to register for more info and receive a free ebook on your guide to financial freedom. That's specializediraservices.com. mark in your neighborhood with a lasting impression. A professional landscape can deliver that and more. And the man to bring it to you is Steve Griggs. Awarded the National Best of Hows in Client Satisfaction in 2016 with clients such as Dr. Oz and the Palisades Center Mall in West Nyack. Steve Griggs is New York's best landscape designer. This isn't landscape design, this is lifestyle design. For more information, visit stevegriggsdesign.com. That's stevegriggsdesign.com.
Hey, welcome back to Grant Cardone TV. Real Estate Investing Made Simple, Mondays, 12 p.m. I got people here posting, hey, Grant's the God, you the man, love your stuff. Dave Ramsey, Grant Cardone's the complete opposite of Dave Ramsey. See, Dave says this, man, avoid debt, own your income, buy a house, get some life insurance money, and everything's gonna be fine. I had a guy in here right before the show, wanted 3 minutes with me to talk to me about what happens to me when I die. So what do you think happens to me, dude? He's like, well, when you're in heaven, me and you, let's say me and you die right now, we're in heaven, Grant. I said, bro, I ain't worried about my kids and my wife, man. Shit, they're gonna be, how much did he leave? Okay? They're not worried about me, man. They're gonna burn me up. They're gonna throw me in one of those machines. They're gonna hit like 2,500 degrees. Just put me behind the damn flamer right here. Burn me up. Will you do that for me, dude?
I'll do it for you.
Okay, run me through the engine. It don't even, man, I don't care about my body. I care about my legacy. I'm not worried about my kids. You don't want them worried about all that? Dude, if that's the biggest problem my kids and my wife have when I die, come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this. Look, I'm trying to live life, okay?
Yeah.
So look, how can you guys live life when you tie down to an address? Peter. Hey, Peter. New York, Peter. He's got to talk to me, though. Peter. Okay, so look. Buy a house once you've made it. And then, even then, folks, I'm telling you, why don't you want to buy a house? Property taxes, property insurance, maintenance, HOA fees, and most importantly, you don't get income. You don't get income, okay? You don't get income.
It's a liability.
It's a liability.
It's not an asset.
It's not an asset.
But Grant, here's the biggest lie, though, that people are told. They're told that their house is going to appreciate each and every year. Yeah. Well, what happened in 2009? Did their house appreciate or depreciate?
It went down by, some houses went down by 50 and 60%. Okay.
So knowing the cycle is definitely a big influencer when you're going to buy these houses, right? Yeah. Because I mean, look, this is on a perfect scale. What you talk about is on a perfect scale, rent versus buy, right? Yeah. But see, when I'm a renter, I don't take that risk as if I'm going into a market and buying something and now it drops 50% and now I have to sell it at a discount when I move, right?
So let's just take the scenario where right now he could go buy his condo. He's qualified. You could get a good loan.
Totally.
Okay.
5% down.
We know what he's paying.
4% interest.
He's paying $240,000 over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So $300,000 house. He puts $15,000 down. That money's gone forever. Okay. He finances $285,000. You want to do 15 years or 30 years?
30.
30 years. So that money's going to cost him about $1,500 a month.
Yep. Just principal and interest.
Just principal and interest.
Yep.
No HOA fees. That's going to be another $300.
No taxes.
That's going to be another $300.
No
Taxes and insurance is going to be another 2% of this number, $6,000. That's another $500 for taxes. Yeah. Okay. That's HOA. And now he's at $2,300.
And in Miami, HOA is a lot more than $300.
Okay, well, let's just take that, okay? $2,300 a month. That's what he's paying.
Yep.
To own it. He's out of $15,000. Over here, he's paying $2,000 a month in rent. Okay? Look, I could take this number to $3,000 or $4,000 and still say he's better off.
Yep.
He keeps his $1,500. Now, if you are so committed to home ownership, to real estate, which I am, look, it's not like I hate on real estate. I got 500 million. I have every free dollar that I have, I poured into deals. Right. Okay. The last deal we did, in St. Lucie.
6, 7, yeah.
There's $4.8 million in it.
Yep.
Okay.
The next deal is going to be $8 million.
I'm like, I buy the deal, man. What if we don't get investors? I'm buying the deal, dude. I know it's a good deal. I buy my deals. I put my money where my mouth is. I got another deal going down in Daytona. How much is that deal?
How much money are you
$9 million in cash. I'm like, hey, I'll buy it all, dude. I'll buy everything I can buy, man. Yeah. Why? Because it produces income, okay? See, different than this investment, does that pay him one penny? Not the fact that he's paying money. Look, it's close, $2,300, $2,000. Okay? What you want to invest in, you need this 15 grand, this 15,000 or the 300 to produce income. I need money, man. Don't you guys get it? I want money. For instance, I did this big sale at my site this weekend, okay, called the Hurricane Sale for the Hurricane. We were losing money on shirts and hats. And Sherry's like, why are we doing this? It's money, Sherry. It's money, man. Yeah. She's like, how is it money? We're selling products for less than I have in the product. The product's paid for.
Yeah.
Okay? I paid for the product a long time ago. It's already paid for. It's money. Like you got money in your closet. Don't you guys get it? You have shoes that you should sell. You have old toys you should sell. If you want money, the first thing you should do, I talk about this in the Playbook to Millions, you need to prove to yourself that you can produce money. Income is senior to everything, and that's why a house doesn't make sense. Houses do not produce income. You need flows of money coming to you, not away from you. Why would I buy a car? I would lease a car, and I would use it to get the money. Why would I buy a jet? Because I use it to go get money, okay? Why do I buy a house? I don't. It's stupid. It was put there and sold to you to break your back, okay? It was put there to put you in the ground, literally, like to put you in one location so the state you live in, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, New York, Ohio, could depend on your tax dollars. They need you to stay put, right? But the wealthy people, Warren Buffett's owned one home in his entire life, okay? It's not even figured in his net worth. It's not how he makes money, okay? Let's talk to Rhea from Pennsylvania. And if you want me to do an analysis, rent versus own, your situation, I'll break it down on the chalkboard. Rhea, what's up? Rhea, how you doing?
You have to turn off your audio now, okay?
Friend,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a physician and turned into a full-time real estate investor. I have a question regarding my first biggest real estate deal that I would like to buy.
Okay.
It's a 16 units comprising of 4 units, 2-bedroom apartments, 12 units, 1-bedroom apartment, and it has 7 commercial spaces in the first floor.
How many total units?
23.
23 units, and how much is the whole deal?
1.35
Okay, and then where's it located?
in Danville, Pennsylvania.
Danville. Do you live in Danville?
Yes.
Okay. What's job growth in Danville like?
What's the what?
Job growth.
Job growth, I do not know the percentage, but we have a big employer here, Skype Paramedical.
Calculator. Okay. All right. And why do you like this deal?
Because the hospital is growing and it's very expensive to build an apartment building complex here. We actually built a duplex and it cost us about $250,000 for just a
Okay.
a
All right.
duplex.
Okay. Good. So she knows something. You see, she answered that question really quick, right? There's something about that market she likes. Okay. So this is 60 grand a door, hard to build. Do you know the cost to build? Because that is something I would like to know. Do you know if I wanted to build, not counting the land, the land, if I wanted to build in Danville, what would it cost?
It's probably $100,000 per unit.
Okay, you should find that out. Okay, you should find that out because that means that I am basically I'm buying for less than it costs to build, which creates a gap. Okay, for instance, I just bought this deal in St. Lucie. I paid $105 a door. No, $102 a door. I paid $102 a door, and one of the considerations I had is what is the cost to build without the land? Just the cost to build. If I wanted to scrape those units and rebuild, what would it cost? And they said it would cost $140 to $150 a door. So I'm below what's called replacement value. So when the storms came through this weekend, right? I sweated it out for 12, 20. I'm like, oh my God, man, I hope.
Fingernails, biting your fingernails.
Yeah. I'm not worried about losing the whole deal. Dude, that would actually be a good thing. Yeah. Okay? I'm worried about the deductible.
Yeah.
I'm worried about getting partial damage not enough damage. Now, clearly, I don't want to get any damage. Right. So, based on what you're telling me here, okay, 60,000. Can you tell me what the NOI is on this deal? This is really simple.
The net operating
Yeah.
without debt service is around 106,902.
Wow. And what is the gross revenues on the deal? This is where I'm going to find the lie. What are they saying the gross revenues were?
Total income is 166,000.
Yeah. Well, I knew. See, they're lying to you. Okay. Well, they might not be lying to you. Give me in, dude. 166, and the NOI is 106. So they're saying they only spent $60,000. Yeah.
Expensive.
Yeah. Who's managing the deal?
Which is 60.
See, when I reviewed the trailing 12, they didn't put in 5% vacancy. They didn't put in 10% CapEx.
Yeah. Well, you don't need it.
It's not factored in.
Yeah. Okay. So look, based on the 106, if I take the 106,000, and there's no management, they're self-managing this deal, right?
There is a property management, and they pay $700 per month for him, and he has 1 unit in the building.
And he's got 4 units?
He has one of the 4 units, yes, two-bedroom apartment.
Okay, so he gets $8,400 a year plus a unit. $8,400 a year plus a unit.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so look, I'll just tell you right now, okay, there's no way they're spending $60,000 a year and they're giving one guy $8,400 of it. Yeah. So basically they're only spending $52,000 a year on the property. Sooner or later, there's gonna be a year where you guys are gonna spend more than 60 grand. You're gonna have a year where you probably spend 150,000 or 200,000. You might wipe out 2 years of income on this property. Now, that being said, that does not mean this is not a good deal. But this is the way I would figure this deal. I would figure this deal at, I like her deal, okay? Let me just put it on the board for you so everybody can see it. We do this every Monday, by the way. Every Monday, I'll assess a deal for you, okay? She's saying this deal, and I think there's some retail space or something on this thing. This deal is $1,350,000. How much money do you have to put down on this?
200,000, but the seller is giving us an option of seller financing where there is no money down.
No money down?
Did you say no money down?
Yes, they're giving us 5% interest. So I was planning to use the 200,000 for renovation so I can raise the rent.
Beautiful. I love the direction you're going. Okay. Now the fact that he wants to do that, dude, I'd get this deal personally. I mean, I like this deal. The deal's getting better and better all the time. Okay. So they're going to put. You know what I would do is I would go ahead and just pay him 1.6 million. Okay. If you could get him to do this, because you're going to be at 1.6 either way. And let's say you put, let's just say you do it the other way, okay? So let's say you do it like this. You put 5% down, which is, let's say 100 grand. And then you spend the other $200,000 out of your pocket, because you know you're going to need to do that. That pays $8,000 a door, basically, $7,000 a door to fix the property up. So if you're going to pay 5% on how much money? $1 million?
Right.
So $1 million is what she's going to finance with the guy at 5%. Is that principal and interest or just interest?
Just interest.
Yeah, man, that's getting sweet. So she's going to have, if this produces like that, you think you can raise the rents there?
Yes. Currently, the rate is around 465 average.
Yeah. So she's going to net 106. If these numbers are right, 106 less the 50 grand she's going to pay on the $1 million of interest. She can borrow $1 million for 50 grand a year. Dude, that's cheap money. Yep. Okay. And by the way, the interest only is the right way to do that deal, even though your mom and dad wouldn't tell you to do that. Oh, you're never going to pay it off. I don't care, dude. Yeah. If I ever pay it off, as long as I'm getting money, that means her $300,000 down. Let's say she puts 300 down, 200 plus the 100 plus the 200 for rehab. 300 grand makes $56,000 a year. divided by 300,000. I should know this already. It's 18% a year. 18% a year if she doesn't get rid of the manager, which I would. Okay? You're going to have to, by the way. You're going to have to get rid of the manager. I'll tell you why you got to get rid of this manager. He knows everybody there and he won't raise the rents. Every property, new owners have to get rid of on-site managers because they know Lily. He might be getting special favors from Lily in number 12 so she can be late. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's why he's staying around for $700 a month. Because who would stay around for $700 a month? They're paying him $125 to stay there. Why? Because he's got some special deal with Lily.
I see.
So, Rhea, I love your deal, by the way. I don't know what it looks like. You got an address on it so I could see it real quick?
I did send Ryan. It's 516 Mill Street.
516?
Mill Street.
And Rhea, is this deal under contract already?
Not yet.
Where's this?
Okay.
Mill Street where?
It's in PA.
Danville.
It's in Danville.
Danville. 516 Mill Street, Danville. Yeah, there it is. It's on LoopNet. For sale. I might make an offer right now. Ooh, man, this is a little brick building, okay? What kind of tenant you got in this joint?
He told me that there's some Section 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, if you just take the money, okay, I mean, here's the problem. There's a reason why, and when you tell me he's willing to give you a 5% loan, there's a reason why this guy wants out of this deal. So you got to find out what that reason is. And the reason's not always money, trust me.
Sometimes it's a headache.
Sometimes it's like, I just can't take it anymore,
Yeah.
okay? Now you could be at a point in your life, Rhea, where you're like, I'm willing to take on the headache.
Totally. Yep.
But there's going to come a point in your life where you're like, I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
This is what we do know about Section 8, okay? They're getting something from the government, and they're not going to take care of that property. I'm just telling you, they're only paying $140 a month. The rest of it comes from the government, okay? So they're like, how nicely are they going to treat your deal?
Yeah. Have you ever done Section 8?
No.
No.
I've had I've had a little bit of Section 8, and I had enough to say, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So Rhea, I hope that helps. I tell you what I would do. I'd have 10 deals in the pipeline before I buy one. 10. I'd have 10. You need to look at least 10 deals. I'm going to tell you what I do. I look at 100 deals before I buy one.
All right.
Okay? So just because the price is good, just because the terms are good, don't mean the deal's good. 2 shows ago, these are Grant Cardone TV, by the way. We archive them there for you guys on Facebook that can't find these shows. Grant Cardone TV. 2 shows ago, I said, look, the deal is the deal. Hunt the deal, not the price, not the down payment, not the terms, not the rate, not the loan, the deal. Rhea, thank you. Dennis, Connecticut.
Come on, Dennis.
See, you can look at this place and tell you about a crack house, dude. Okay, yeah, Dennis, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, what's up? So, I have 2 questions. Okay, so I'm 17. I'm starting my first LLC.
Damn.
And my goal is to take the money that I'm making the company to multifamily real estate. So I'm wondering, since you guys are both experienced, where should I start researching in the multifamily market?
Where you live. You guys cannot go research. You got to start where you are, okay? Yeah. So I lived in Houston, Texas. I knew I wasn't going to be in Houston, Texas forever, and what I did was every weekend I shopped in Houston, Texas. You know, you could go get a book. You can go read 10 books. Tell them about all the books and programs you did.
Tons of books. And just as a quick, go ahead.
Yeah. What do you think you spent in educational products for real estate?
Over $60,000.
Over 60 grand,
in 3 years. You
know what we do today? We don't read books, dude. We go look at properties.
Yeah.
You got to get on the ground.
Yeah.
You got to walk the property.
Yeah.
You got to feel the place. You got to drive up.
And let me just add to this. With all that education, you know what it did?
What?
It made me even more scared.
Yes. It immobilizes too much
buy
data,
properties.
Right? You need to feel it. 2 things that I buy on.
Yeah.
One is, how does it feel? Mm-hmm. Okay? Because whatever sensation I'm getting, the next person is going to get.
Totally.
You got to buy it right.
Yep.
You got to manage it right, and you got to sell it big time right. You make your money when you sell this deal, not when you buy the deal. I know the old ad is you make your money when you buy it. That's true. But the truth is you don't actually see the money till you sell it. So every time we do a deal,
and that brings us back to the
Yeah.
rent versus buy, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're buying a house,
man,
you don't.
you're moving in on me, man.
I'm trying.
You're dramming me.
But no, but what I'm saying, and I'll just finish this really quick, is that people think that your primary residence is an investment, right? And it can make you money, but not until you sell it. So if your timing is perfect, you might be able to make money on a house that you bought. I made money on houses I bought in Arizona in 2009. But I'm going to go on the record right now.
Yeah.
I personally think right now is not a good time to buy a house. I don't think it's a good time to buy 4 units and below.
Dude,
I think it's a great time.
But even when you bought at the low part of the market,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have bought that stuff you bought.
Sure. But I didn't know enough. See?
No.
I didn't
no,
know.
yeah,
I didn't know
Yeah.
how to go out there
Exactly.
and look at a lot of deals. I didn't know where to get the deal flow from.
Yeah.
Not until I joined your
And-
team a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, where are all these deals coming from?
Yeah, and there's no shortage of deals.
There's
trust
no
me.
shortage of
Okay,
deals.
And today what we say is, look, don't buy the deal based on your budget. One of the problems, one of the mistakes you guys are making is you're buying deals based on how much money you have, which limits you to the marketplace.
Yep.
You don't want to buy based on your budget. You want to buy based on the deal. That was last week's show at Grant Cardone TV. By the way, on Stitcher, on podcast, right? Where else are they, Robert? Help me out, Robert.
They're on iTunes. They're also on.
Hey, Grant.
Yeah, Dennis. So, dude, you got to start.
Actually, to my second question,
Okay.
which is, when I'm 18 or 90, can I go into multifamily real estate with that much capital?
Yeah, you can't. Well, no, I mean, you're going to need some money, dude.
Are you a good salesman?
Yeah.
Can you sell real estate? 'Cause that's what it is. I mean, when you're going in and looking for money, you have to sell that this is a good deal to people.
Somebody's going to want some money, dude.
Yeah.
Can you go to the grocery store and walk out with products without money?
No.
Yeah, probably the same thing. I mean, somebody wants money, right? So you're either going to have to go to the bank, you're going to have to go to investors, you're going to have to go both, or you're going to have to go to the seller. You're going to have to convince the seller to sell to you. The fact that you're freaking 19, dude, has got nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
That's bad English.
Yeah.
And it's still got nothing to do with nothing, okay? Alexander the Great was 16, and he had freaking taken over more real estate almost than you have on this planet. So it doesn't matter how old you are. Mark Z launched Facebook at what, 23 years old, 24 years old? Got nothing to do, dude. I mean, who cares how old you are? Is it a good deal? Will it produce income? How do you know what you know? Can you support that with facts? Tell me about the rest of the product in the neighborhood. Do you know, K-N-O-W, your game?
Yep.
Okay?
And you know what?
Dottie.
My biggest mistake was that I didn't find somebody like you
Yeah,
earlier in my career.
yeah.
Because all the programs, all the books, all the everything, it doesn't teach you.
The books. You know how you sell a book? Great title. Be obsessed or be average.
That's right.
No money down. Okay? Flipping houses quick.
Yeah.
Dude, they know money in
Get
flipping houses.
rich quick.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Get rich quick.
Nobody builds $500 million worth of real estate flipping houses.
Yeah.
Show me one person.
Or-
Any
yeah,
one
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay? I'll tell you who flipped all the
amazing.
homes, okay? The same people that broke the housing market came back into Miami and bought 6,000 condos up and down Miami Beach.
That's right.
They're called Blackstone.
That's right.
Okay? The Blackstone boys, the hedge funds came up. They bought everything they busted out. They'd already been out of the deal.
Yep.
They come up and down, they buy everything. This is what they did. They took
50,000 houses.
Okay, they bought everything they could get their hands on. They started in Miami, and they've done all kind of houses. So they come in, they buy 6,000 units right here in Miami Beach. They paid for them because they have cash sitting around, just money everywhere. Okay, they paid cash. They grabbed all this stuff and they started renting it out. They're like, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
It's dead money for a little while. Sooner or later, the market comes back. Market comes back. Next thing you know, they start selling units. Okay, but before they sold them, what they did was they went and packaged all that value, the 6,000 units, they packaged in a thing called a bond. So they didn't sell one house at a time, dude. They packaged the whole thing and they say, look, Wall Street, now we have billions of dollars in this new package, okay? And what we can do is we can basically sell this package that will pay people back, grandmas, pay them back a little bit of money, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% a year. We can cash out, get all our money out now, and still own the units. They got the cash and the units, man. It's a scam, folks. Dottie, what's up?
It's a scam.
Dottie.
Yes, this is Dottie. Hello.
Oh.
Dottie Goodman from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you to call, Dottie.
Good.
Come on,
I'm
Dottie.
glad.
Dottie,
This is the deal.
where you been all my life, Dottie?
You're married. That's what happened.
Dottie, why'd you let that
Anyway.
happen, Dottie?
Angela from headquarters asked me to give you a call on this line. And that's why I'm calling you to basically direct. You have a cell phone number I could text over my information. I'm in this stress situation.
Hey, Dottie,
I have a need
Go
for
ahead.
a landlord, a pet-friendly landlord, who will give me a job in exchange for an apartment. Do you have connections in New York with that kind of lead? I
Not
need
really.
to know,
Not
do you have
really.
any
Not
colleagues
really.
that you can hook me up with?
Not really. What's the whole pet friendly thing though?
What's the whole texting to do?
No, the pet friendly. Why has it got to be
Pet friendly? Because I need a pet friendly landlord. It's very, very difficult to find that
Yeah.
here in New York.
Will you have a dog?
No, I have a cat.
Yeah. How long have you had that cat?
I've had it for 2 years, and I always taken cats. I've had a 14 years a cat prior to this one, and then another one even.
Do you know
that
Donald
gave
Trump? Do you know Donald Trump? Because he says he can grab a cat. He said, I
this
just
is
grabbed my
serious.
cat.
Yeah, I know, but this is a serious thing. I need
No, dude.
love-
Look,
I love how you
look,
go there.
look.
You
What's
just
more
go there.
serious though? What's more serious here? Okay. Your cat.
What's more serious?
Your cat or
no,
your freedom?
Both. No, I need a pet-friendly landlord
Yeah.
who's willing to give me an apartment in exchange for labor, because I need to get out from where I am discreetly. I have a slumlord who's not going to let me move out so easily and quietly and peacefully. And so in order to
Yeah.
basically salvage that which I have left, in order to get out, that's the arrangement I need.
Yeah. Okay.
rent
So
was
look,
set so-
text Captain Ryan, and I'll put a line out to my pet friendly landlords
New
in New
Yorkers.
York. And I love you, Dottie.
Yeah. Thanks for calling, Dottie.
Dude, you guys, you know sometimes you got to get rid of your animals.
You do.
I'm just saying. Look, if your pussy's holding you back, get rid of it. I'm just saying. If the the pussy cat,
It holds you back
dude, like.
in many
You're
ways.
like, give it to somebody that can take care of it now, okay? I had to get rid of 4 dogs, man. It just they didn't suit my life anymore. I'm like, you got to go.
Yeah.
I found them a good home so that I could take care of my kids and my wife. What's a good resource? This is Michael Jensen. You want to read these?
Yeah. So Michael Jensen, this and just so
Grant
you guys
Cardone
know,
TV. Comments at Grant Cardone TV.
Yep, GrantCardoneTV.com.
All the
Comment
shows,
below.
by the way, are Grant Cardone TV.
All the shows. And what I'm doing, Grant, is just so you know, on the Facebook stream, on the comments, I'm actually going back and I'm getting
I love
their
that.
questions.
I love that.
So from last week, Michael Jensen, you asked, what's a good resource, a book or website where you recommend learning about multifamily real estate? Do you have a book
I
or a resource?
recommend that you not start with a book first. I recommend that you go to a property, meet with a broker, show me the income statement. You need to see the property, not a book. Okay, like we're not talking about sales. We're talking about a piece of property. You need to see what they're talking about. Like I can see things that the woman called about the thing, and I knew right there when I looked at the number. I said something wrong with this deal, man. So I knew the number that was going to come in. It was the income number that was the problem, not the NOI. So like you got to look at deals. You got to see deals. Go ahead.
One good book I would recommend is it's The ABCs of Real Estate by Kenny McElroy. We're actually going to get an interview with Kenny.
Oh, good.
He's
Love that.
got about 8,000
ABCs.
ABCs of real estate.
He's got more units than I have.
Well, he's a investment company as well.
Okay.
And so just so everybody knows as well, Grant, he's been raising, actually been doing no raising of money. He's bought all of his units with his own money, and we actually now just opened it up to where we have
Accredited by the SEC.
accredited investors.
Yeah.
Which means you have to make
But we're approved by
$200,000.
the SEC. How do you say that?
Absolutely. So as far as the approval goes,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
We've been approved by the SEC to allow accredited investors
Right.
to put money into a fund
Right.
where I go out and buy the real estate.
Right.
Okay.
So, and what accredited means is you make $200,000 over the past 2 years,
Yeah.
or your net worth is $1 million.
And it's because so many of my friends now, like I got a buddy that runs a bunch of car dealerships. He's like, I don't have time for this, dude.
Yeah.
There's no way. He's like, he's making a lot of money. I mean, big money. He's like, if I leave and go look, if you're telling me I got to look at 10 deals to buy one, I'm like, no, you need to look at 100.
Yeah.
Where do I do that? I don't have time now, man. I got freaking 1,700 employees. I got problems. I got legal. I need to know what all these manufacturers are doing. So I offered it to people like that beyond just my brothers and my really close friends.
Yeah.
Said, hey, you want to invest in my deals? So we went out, spent the money to get it approved by the SEC. And then some of you out there watching the show are reaching out to me saying, dude, can I invest in your deals?
Yeah.
Like this last deal we did is going to do probably 10 to 12% a year.
Yep.
You don't have, like watch that rent. He's going to spend $300,000 to buy a house. Okay. Why wouldn't he just put that money in my fund? Okay. I'm going to pay him $30,000 a year. Anything above that, we take a 65-35 split, means he gets 65, I get 35. By the way, the first deal we did, just so everybody knows, I know I got my shirt out today. Somebody had offended somebody this weekend. Sorry, I forgot to put it in. I've been on interviews all day because Be Obsessed or Be Average is dropping right now. And everybody's telling me, why are you doing the real estate show today? You got all this other stuff to do. Because I'm committed to doing the damn real estate show. That's why I'm doing it, okay? So watch. He can get $30,000 a year on his $300,000 with me. And then anything above that, he gets 65%, I get 35%. Oh, by the way, he's not on the loan. I am for $15 million, okay? So I'm signing the loan. I find the deal. I'm paying him. I'm guaranteeing him 6% a year, okay? And think it's going to pay him more like $30,000 a year. Or should he be out reading books and looking at his own real estate? I don't know. You tell me. Or worse, should he, and by the way, should he not, is he better off not renting for $2,000?
Yep.
He could rent a nice joint for $4,000, okay? Hell, I'm paying for most of it, right? He could go rent a bigger place, waste the money, and have passive income coming in because he's going to get a write-off, which y'all don't understand. We haven't covered in any of our shows yet.
No, not yet.
Is the depreciation offered in real estate investing at the multifamily level, which is monster.
Yep. And look, just so you guys know, I'll tell you exactly where I am. I'm investing right next to Grant because it makes perfect sense, right? I mean, I was doing single family houses one at a time, a fourplex one at a time. Just wasn't scalable.
How many units did you have?
There was no scale. I had 19 units, apartments, and I had 3 single family houses all
So
in
he
Arizona.
sold those 19 units
All those
and
19.
came in with me on an 823 unit deal.
Yep.
So he went from 19 units to 800 units. He couldn't buy those on his own. It's impossible.
No.
You know? So if I could have started out when I'm 35 years old, man, and said, hey, don't bother with the 38, the 48, and the 90, and just jump.
Yep.
I tell my kids, don't add, multiply.
Yep.
Okay? This is a way to multiply. So if you want information on that, you email Ryan
Yep.
at
Ryan@CardoneAcquisitions.com. Again, it's Ryan@CardoneAcquisitions.com. And look, if you have questions you want to call me directly, call the office. It's 310-777-0255. But keep in mind, Grant only does this for people who have good attitudes. He only does this for people who have good luck. Because look,
yeah, I don't need your bad vibe.
We don't
on me,
need-
man. You
yeah.
got a bad vibe. You got a bad vibe. Keep your bad vibe to yourself. Okay, go share it with somebody else. Okay. Now, for those of you out there that are not accredited, okay, you don't earn $200,000 a year. You don't have $1 million. I'm trying to figure out how to allow you into these deals, but I can't yet because of government regulations. So
Yeah.
I want to help you. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. So if you got 5 or 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000, I'm trying to work it out. Promise you. My buddy Rupin from London all the time.
I
Hey
know.
man, can you take
I
my
know.
100? Da, da, da. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to figure it out. I can't figure it out yet. But when I do, because I want my people that work in my office, I don't want you guys investing in a 401k. I want to be able to get some of the people that work for me and aren't there yet financially to be accredited to be able to invest in this deal. That's how good I feel about this.
well, and it's hilarious because I know last time after the show I brought up, you said, well, why can't people invest in your deals that aren't accredited? And for me, this goes back to kind of this conspiracy thing, but I don't think it is a conspiracy.
No, you're right, dude.
Yeah.
Share that.
So you have to be an accredited investor to get involved in a good deal.
In a good deal.
that works,
You know
right?
why? Because they don't want Robert doing it yet.
Yeah.
They want to limit Robert's choices, okay? Because Robert doesn't have that $200,000 a year. He's just under it. Imagine this.
Yeah.
He's $190 a year,
Yeah.
and I can't take his money. But if he makes 10,000 more,
Wall Street,
Wall Street will take every penny.
they'll nickel and dime him to death.
Oh, dude, they'll beat him.
He
to
has
death.
zero
Okay.
control. His name is not on an
You're
LLC.
totally right, dude.
Yeah.
That's valid. That's a valid, legit deal. You understand what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
They don't want you guys putting your money in my deals.
They don't want you to get rich.
No, they want you in their deals, in Kios.
Who makes the rules?
Exactly.
He who holds the gold makes the rules.
And that's why, if you were watching that damn debate last night,
Yeah.
that's why you saw me tweeting, dude, the whole thing's a scam. There aren't two parties. Why do you think the Bushes are going to vote for Hillary? Why do you think devout Republicans would flip now and vote for a Democrat? Because they ain't two parties.
Yeah.
It's all a big freaking scam,
It's a lie.
bro. It's all a lie, man. So, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to vote this year. I'm going to vote for monster disruption. I don't think the guy can make it. I don't care about Trump one way or the other.
Right.
I'm voting against all those other people. By the way, if you look back to Obama 4 years ago and 4 years before that, I said, I'm voting for disruption. I want disruption. I'm voting for change, dude, across the board. So it doesn't matter to me, Republican, Democrat, I'm voting for change. I'm trying to bring it to you every Monday. Every Monday, I'm trying to change the way you think, change the way you make money, and change the way you spend or invest your money. Dave Ramsey says if you just own your income, own it, take responsibility for it, and never use debt, you're going to have financial freedom. It's a lie, folks. It is impossible to have financial freedom if you don't use debt at some point in your life.
Yeah.
You got something?
Are we almost done?
Yeah.
So the last thing
that's
I'll
what we're
say.
doing. I'm wrapping up.
You
right now.
wrapping up? You wrapping up? Because I want to do a final statement.
Come on, Robert. Talk to me, Robert.
So when you're
what'd you learn today, Robert?
Buy versus rent. I'll leave you with this, guys. You're either renting space or you're renting money. Either way, guys, you're renting.
Yeah.
So just get out of this whole confusion of, owning your own house.
You shouldn't buy a house until you've made it. Okay. So your wife, you and your wife need to watch the show again.
Yep.
Okay. Do not buy a house.
Yep.
You lose mobility. It's a bad deal. You never own it. You never own it. If you have a personal advisor that says your financial net worth, if they're using your house as part of your financial net worth calculation, that is a personal advisor that is completely confused. A home is not considered an asset.
Yep.
You would never use a home. Listen to me. You would never use a home as part of your asset evaluation.
It actually on your balance sheet, it actually goes under a liability.
It should. It should be a liability.
Because it costs you money every single
even
month.
if it's paid for.
Yep.
Okay? So look, it's not part of net worth. It doesn't produce income. You can't really write it off. I mean, you write it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, but I get a deduction every year because I own it. I don't rent it. You're better off. You're better off, okay, paying $3,000 a month in rent than you are owning a home for $2,000 for 50 years. Just go back and look at the charts for 50 years. For 50 years. My mom bought a house for $20,000 for $50,000. She sold it 22 years later for $52,000.
Yeah.
That's not a deal, man. Yeah. Go ahead. One more thing, and let's get out of here.
The cost of opportunity, and I'll leave it at that. You talk about being able to move to different places.
Yeah.
If I owned my house and I was stuck there was no way I could move to Miami for this opportunity, right?
Delusion. Let me just tell you the cost of delusion.
Yeah.
The idea that you think that you've been tricked and brainwashed, hypnotized to believe if I own a home, one day I'm going to be rich. No, one day you're going to be old. You need that money earning you income all this time while that's happening, okay? So if Robert was accredited, I could have Robert, what do you got in savings right now?
About 10 grand.
I could have that 10 grand pumping him money right now. Even if it's only 80 bucks a month, dude. 80 bucks, he gets 80 bucks. The next thing you know, I guarantee you this is what happens. Jared saw it happen. He gets 80 bucks. He's like, damn, I didn't earn that this month. Another $80 next month, okay? Another $80. He's like, he's gonna go get 10 grand as fast as he can, another 10 grand to put it in the deal. So now 80's 160. And then he's going to go out and hustle to figure out how to save 20 grand. So now he's got 320 coming in. And the next thing you know, that thing starts growing over time. Okay, not at the end of his life. Yeah. Okay, my name's Grant Cardone. This is Captain Ryan. You can email your questions to Ryan at CardoneAcquisitions.com. Ryan at CardoneAcquisitions.com. Every Monday, 12 p.m., I do this show for you. Okay, damn it. We went over the 45 minutes. Every Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do this for you. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, please. If you're on Grant Cardone TV, subscribe. Also, we're going to be going live on Roku. If you got a Roku system at your house, we're there. Wherever you are, we're there. Okay, what else, Robert? What else we got?
Thanks for the shares. Thanks for the comments.
Get the
We definitely
Cardone U special.
Oh my
Oh my,
God.
you
Okay,
almost
we're
forgot.
dropping Be Obsessed or Be Average. Get it in the shot. See, got to get it where people can see it though. Be Obsessed or Be Average goes live tomorrow. It goes hot tomorrow. We're doing a special for Obsessed. Be Obsessed for CardoneU.com. $19,000 program. Use the code OBSESSED. The code OBSESSED for 90% off of Cardone University. Those of you who've been out there waiting for me to put it on sale again, now's your moment, now's your time. CardoneUniversity.com, is that right? Or CardoneU.com?
CardoneU.com.
CardoneU.com, CardoneU.com. Use the code OBSESSED. All caps or doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter.
You sure? Obsessed. Caps or no caps. Mix them up if you want to, but don't get mixed up. My name's Grant Cardone, Captain Ryan. This is Real Estate Investing Made Simple. Thanks for joining us today.